Hey, so I'm going to answer a question somebody asked about mindfulness or something like that in eating. For those of you, first of all, that have been asking though, still no sign of Stinky. I feel that I'm still really sad, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of a grip, and I don't think I cried yesterday, which is like probably if I don't think I did, and that's the first day. But then I got sad because then I was thinking I haven't cried yet today, and that means I'm getting used to him not being here, and that means that like it's like grief is weird thoughts. Brains are weird. I mean, I know that more than anyone after having an eating disorder. Brains give you weird thoughts. Anyway, so yeah. So the question was, what do I think about mindfulness in eating? And I think they were saying not so much necessarily in eating disorder recovery, but the person that asked the question made a comment saying many recovery coaches talk about a fullness scale. I've never heard about that before. I obviously didn't take the recovery coach training course. Fullness scale? So it looks like what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to eat some food, and you're supposed to sit there, and you're supposed to go inside and go, am I still hungry for more? And then the fullness scale will, it's like, tell you either you're hungry for more or you're not. Or maybe you're 72% full and not completely full. I just think it's such... People make up the stupidest things. I don't... Like, it's not... Imagine if you had a emptiness scale every time you went for a pee, and you're supposed to go and you pee a bit, and then you stop and you go, wait a minute, what percentage of ness have I peed? Only 60%, better pee some. It's just overcomplicating something. It should be so fucking easy. Eat. Do I want to eat more? No. Then I'm full. Eat. Do I want to eat more? Yes. Well, I'm not full. You don't have to overthink it. We don't have to get so bloody complicated about it. And mindfulness, no. The last thing a person with an eating disorder needs to do is mindful eating. Because mindful eating was designed, or I guess the concept was developed for apparently these people who just sit around stuffing their faces all day and are completely oblivious to the fact that they've eaten 20,000 bags of crisps. Like that actually really exists. But I think that's why this whole concept of, you have to be mindful, pay attention to what you're eating, so that you know what you're eating, so that your brain has time to register what you've eaten. As if our bodies and brains are that damn stupid that if you eat fast, that your body just don't register it and your brain doesn't know they've eaten. Or that you have to stop and go all like mindful so that your brain has time to go, ooh, actually, yes, I have eaten and I'm full, so that will save me eating another 3 cakes now that you sat still for a while. No. Remember, our brains and our bodies, our guts and our brains are connected. Mm-hmm. They know what's going on with each other. And if you put food in your mouth, your stomach's going to know it. You don't actually have to sit there and go, stomach, I put food in my mouth. Will you register that, please? It just knows. It's just knows because it's in there. And so the mindfulness thing, I think somebody thought it was a clever idea and developed it because apparently all of these people are going around just mindlessly eating everything. And they thought, well, we have to stop this. So we have to develop mindful eating where you take a bite, you put your knife and fork down, you savour it, you think about it, and you can't have the TV on or anything else like that because you have to pay attention to what you're eating. Because if you don't pay attention to what you're eating, your brain might not know that you ate. And then you might end up eating a ton more. So that's why that was developed. And even if that is needed, which you can probably tell by my attitude, I don't think it is, because I just tend to think that our brains know stuff about what's going on in our bodies. If it was needed, then it's still the last thing a person with an eating disorder needs, because we're already hyper aware. If you have an eating disorder, you are so very aware about every crumb that you ate. So the last thing you need to know it'll do is anything that might further draw your attention to the fact that you're eating, because it freaks you out. So what I wrote about this in my book, what I actually advocate for in eating disorder recovery is mindless eating. actually bring on the distractions. Have as many distractions as you want, because we're already hyper aware around food. We are more aware than people without eating disorders. We are very, very conscious about what exactly is going in there. And we actually need to find more balance. So that means we have to purposefully and actively try and get ourselves to be less aware of what we're eating, because we've taken it to an extreme measure. And you've got to bring it back and be like, be a bit more mindless about it. It's not normal to hyperanalyze every single crumb of food that you eat and know exactly how many chips you ate off a plate and all that stupid shit that we know when we have an eating disorder. And so you have to bring on the distractions. And it really helped lower my anxiety also when I was eating. I actually, when I think, and I just like self-medicated with distractions, I think, when I was refeeding myself, because I used to have a book, I had to be reading a book and have the television on. I had to have multiple distractions, and that I didn't think about it at the time why I felt that I needed to have all this stuff going on when I eat. But now I can see I was distracting myself away from my anxiety. If I just sat there, just me and the table and a plate of food, I would have found that really bloody difficult, because all there would be to focus on was the food. And then, of course, that would make me think about how much I was eating and how much weight I was going to gain, which would lead to my anxiety to rise. And so I self-medicated with shit television and books. And it worked really well for me. And so think about how you can actually be much more mindless about what you are eating. See that as the challenge, not to be mindful, but to be mindless. Eat mindlessly. Just be the person that grabs a handful of Skittles and shoves them in their mouth and doesn't even think about it. Be that person. Force yourself to be that person. I know it will make you feel like you're out of your comfort zone, but that's the whole fucking point, isn't it? And so if you have an eating disorder, you have to focus on being more mindless when you're eating. So whatever it takes to distract you, dancing ladies across your dinner table. Don't know where that came from. You know what I mean, though. Whatever. Look at pictures of cats on the internet doing funny things. Whatever it is. But distract yourself. Take your attention away from how much you're eating. It does wind me up when humans think of all this dumb stuff that really makes our relationships with our bodies more difficult. As if, this is this idea that our bodies are really stupid and they don't know how much we're eating. And that's why people eat so much, is because basically their bodies have no idea what's going in there. So we have to pay attention, because otherwise our bodies are just going to miss that hamburger you just ate. Just won't know that it happened, and it won't think you ate one. It's going to want to eat another one. Oh, give me strength.